Myself. All right. So, welcome everyone as we get more people to join the call here on Google Meets. Welcome everyone to our YouTube live stream. Yaru Create Week 4 is what we'll be going through today, which is build. This week isn't about being the smartest person in the room, as you've seen from the email, but it's about pushing through the frustration, accepting that feeling stuck is normal, and choosing not to quit when things get hard. Today, we are in the presence with our fine engineers. So we have Sharon and Jordan. Welcome, guys, to the stream. It's great to have you guys. I think today will be a perfect timing to have you guys introduced to the Yaru Create and be a part of our journey in building. There's going to be a lot of questions that come up, a lot of frustration. This potentially will be the make or break step. And so there's going to be a lot of trying and failing, a lot of pushback from AIs, and, it's going to get hard. But that's the important part is if we can get through this, I think we'll have a better runway ahead of us. So we just want to make sure that we're urging everyone not to give up. Don't give up, guys. It's just only up from here. So let's continue working on our projects, and we'll get through this together. And if there are any questions, especially with the build side, our engineers here are available for you. There's resources and access to them via Discord. You guys are both on Discord.
Yes, we are.
Perfect. And so if you have any questions regarding, any of the things we're going through today, you can type them up. Feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself and go ahead and raise those questions. Or if you come up with a question or blocker later, engineer related, you can go ahead and, tag Jordan or Sharon in the Discord general chat. All right, cool. Without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump and dive right in. Just to give a quick recap from last week. Last week was week 3. We did planning and prototyping. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but we went through building and prompting for our PRD and giving that through ChatGPT essentially. So what each of us did was we took our ideas that we ideated and validated, we took it through a planning process, and basically tried to prototype, potential use cases. Actually, first, if we could introduce Git to the stage, I will let him. We'll go through around the room essentially. Git's on the call. Calvin's on the call here again. Welcome, guys. We have Morgan and Jirapat. I see you on the call as well. Good to meet you. Good to see you.
Good to see.
Thank you for joining. So Git, if we can get you on the screen, I'll take care of that for you guys. Go ahead and share and walk us through what you did last week, just to recap for everyone. And then Calvin will be next.
All right, sure. So, hi guys. I am Kit. I am a creator for Yaru, also part of Yaru Create program. If just for a quick recap, if you guys don't remember, I created basically I created an advertising business model where you can use your car as an advertising subject that you can drive around and earn cash while you're advertising brands. Either it's going to be an OOH or DOOH. For those who doesn't know what OOH or DOOH is, basically it's out of home, and DOOH is digital out of home ads. They can use their car. If it's an OOH, they can have their car wrapped with branded content. And for digital, they can have their screens attached to their car and have ads running on their screens, and they can earn money from there. What I was planning to do is trying to plan a platform for that, and I actually use the I think Will gonna run us through today. If not, maybe you can check last week live session. So I did run the GPT, starting from help me create a PRD all the way down to the last question. So once you hit the 95% mark, it will ask you to build it will ask you if you want to build a complete PRD. So it actually gave me the whole PRD all the way down here. And I threw that PRD into Lovable and V0. Now, what happened with Lovable is we managed to get kind of like a UI of how the app or the website, the platform will actually look like. And this is actually what the platform looks like. And it's still on a lot of them, actually all of them are unclickable for now. I have no idea why, to be honest. But for, and
Sorry,
I
Kit,
think
if I
that's, sorry.
may, we're not
Yeah.
seeing the lovable screen if you're sharing that with
Oh,
us right now.
sorry. Sorry. Let me
It's all good.
let. That's all right. Let me present something else. There you go. Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So this is what it Lovable gave me once I basically pasted all the big chunk of the PRD into Lovable here. So it created this. We have all the UIs, everything, but everything is still unclickable. Um, Actually, I haven't tried the sign in version. Yep, everything is unclickable, but you actually see, how the website, the platform actually looks like. Um, on the other hand, this is on V0. Wait, let me switch to V0. Um, there you go. Okay. Now, so now, so for V0, the website is it's clickable. You can actually create an account, and you can create an account. You can pretty much do almost everything with it, but I just don't know how to go back from there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's
Yep.
so in short, just to show that you went through the PRD process, it basically
Yes.
asks you a large set of questions to get to a
Yes.
certain confidence area. And then what it
Yes.
did is it prompted, or it gave you a prompt, right, at the first part, and
Yes.
then the second item that it gave you was a PRD, right? Essentially just
Correct.
breaking down the whole business structure, what aspects there are, what markets you're trying to cater to, who's a part of your business, external, internal, etc. And it's giving you that prompt so that you can give it to these cool sites like V0 and what's the other one? Lovable, as
Lovable.
an example, correct? Yeah. Okay,
Correct.
cool. Thank you for sharing, Kit. I think we're really making progress here. We're at a stage where we're actually seeing um different people's ideas come to life. And so next, what I want to do is I want to bring Calvin to the stage. Do a quick recap of what you were doing. Calvin, welcome.
Basically, gym clothes. And last episode, I got the PRD for the wait list, and I refined it a little bit because building this week's all about refining the PRD, going back and changing what you didn't like, or improving on the original plan. So this is what I went when I went through the same plan and prototype GPT. It gave me a PRD, and that PRD, if you remember it,
Wait, are you sharing your screen?
I gotta share my screen. Of course, you
Yeah,
guys can. Here, let me see.
a good idea.
Our screen. There we go. All right, so this is the PRD it originally gave me, 95% confidence, and uh, this is what Lovable gave me. Uh, pretty much a basic waitlist, something you would see for this is basically just like a template, a regular template waitlist all the way down to the join waitlist, and you can add your name and an email, but there's no database stored yet. So I went back and I kind of wanted to implement a video that transitions into an image and make it cooler, as I guess. Gave me a new PRD and went back to Lovable again to input it. And after talking to it throwing it in and talking to it for a bit, basically this is where I arrived at. And also, I'm in the middle of actually creating the graphics for the app encounter and error. Let me try.
Fun.
Hmm.
When the
Yeah, this
frustration
is something
begins.
that about vibe coding is it's never 100%. Like a couple of minutes ago, it was working. Even the whole waitlist and the system for it works now because Lovable also has released Lovable Cloud, which before, if you want to store information, you would have to install Supabase. And although it's quite easy to install Supabase, that's just an additional step that everyone has to do. But now, check it out. All right, this is my website. So it plays a video and then transitions into the waitlist itself, where there's a fixed image. I'm thinking either just a fixed image or like a looping video again in the background here, and it plays to join the waitlist. Boop. Calvin at okay, dox myself. All right, gender male, and I'm an Excel. Join waitlist. And if I do join the waitlist, I'm in. And actually, because of, as I was saying, Lovable Cloud, I don't even have to go to Supabase, basically. Signups. The number of signups, it should be in here. Yeah, so this ideally the signups will go in here once I finish this.
Yeah.
So this is my website now. I think it's coming along pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome.
All
That
right,
is me.
cool. Thank you, Calvin, for the quick show and tell. I too will also do a quick show and tell of my screen if we can get that prepared. So if everyone remembers, what I did was I took a product that myself and my family already have, and we are trying to basically expand that business, right? In short, I also went through the GPT during week 3. As you can see here, I went through a series of questions, and once it gets to a certain percentage of confidence level, right, it'll basically prompt your PRD. I got to a 65%, and then it gave me my PRD. So with that, I got the prompt, and then it broke down in detail what my business was. And I want to highlight here that I had a little bit of a 3-part requirement to my setup for the build, which was one, primarily we want to focus on expanding the business to a B2B model. So potentially getting people from a business model to purchase the product of avocados from us. Our secondary journey would be consumers, so the B2C market. And then our third or tertiary requirement was the back end, basically keeping track in like this numbering. So like how Calvin had like that number counter thing was pretty cool, right? And so if we can track sales and leads, etc., on the back end, that'd be super cool. And I basically got to the end of the PRD and I went through all 5 of these AI tools that you can use. You can also go ahead and test these out. They're actually all uniquely different. I will go ahead and just quickly just show you each and every one of the outcomes, starting with the first one, which is bolt.new. Immediately, I gave up from the start. So I put in the prompt, and then it took maybe a good 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 15 at max. I don't remember the exact timing. It was last week. And then it prompts me this: keep building your momentum with 25 bucks per month subscription. So I immediately went to the next one, which was Lovable. Lovable gave me an actual presentable site. And obviously I ran out of credits for the day. Essentially, this answered the questions that I wanted. So the first one is creating the sites or a page apart, essentially for B2B. So allowing people who are cafes or other businesses to reach out to my business to purchase the avocados in bulk. If you went to home, you can order as like an individual consumer. So they can contact us via line, tell us what the order is, and we deliver it fresh to their home. And then obviously the admin login as well. Just quickly pop. Okay, the login failed. Has an actual database, by the way. Boom, boom. Oh well, that's not gonna work. Anyways, in the back end, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my password, guys. So, oh, it provided me the credentials. Did it? Oh, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. There we go. So as you guys can see on the back end, we already gave it a test. So what we could do essentially is we can add we can add orders on the back end manually. B2B leads will become basically a wait list. Because it's a new market, we really don't understand who's ready to make purchases in the B2B market. So I wanted to create this landing page where people can just send in their contact information and potential order amount so we can understand and test the market to see if like we're actually able to deliver. There's a lot of unanswered questions at this point with the product. So I just want this to be the first primary thing. The B2C, as you guys already know, testimonies was a cool thing, is I can add testimonies as I got them. And it actually updated on the front page of the website. So if I type in a customer's name, I have this returning customer. His name is Joshua, and he loves all the orders, right? And he is based in Bangkok. Once I add that testimony, if you go to the homepage, I thought this was super cool. It updated right on the homepage for me, and it automatically gives me a 5-star. But anyways, after I went to Lovable, I went to Replit. This is also another tool. This one, despite the credits running out, it also did give me the same concept of a website. Different design is all I can see, but it gave me the 3 primary things that I asked for. I went to Base 44. This one took a unique approach because it realized, actually, if you go through the PRD, sorry. If you go through, thank you. If you go through the PRD, I actually mentioned in the PRD that primarily my first approach clients are potentially more geared towards the Thai market first versus English being the main language of a website. So this took that into twist, and it basically gave me the same output, the 3 primary things: B2B, B2C, and then a backend admin option. And then finally, I went to VO. VO, same thing, gave me the same things, same parameters. They all did really well. And so now I'm actually at a point right now where I feel like I have a really cool site, and there's just so many things going on, and I'm like, I'm ready to, jump in and build this. But yeah, like I have you guys here today. Like, what are your thoughts on this, and what do you see out of this? Like, what's my next steps?
So from what I see on your website, it's actually pretty impressive. It from reading your PRD, it's kind of built the whole app for you. Surely the UI can be improved, but I think if you can focus on the waitlist like creating a waitlist app, and we can just work on the UIs while waiting for the list to grow and check for potential users. That would be a great idea. What do you think?
So, okay, I can see that being a good approach. So essentially, we just focus on the B2B side first, right? And we just built the one waitlist first, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think from a developer's perspective, we should definitely go with an MVP. So finding one core functionality, like one target audience, is the way to start. So we can just start with B2B.
Okay, I think that's a definitely fair approach. I think we can. I would agree to that. Let's go ahead and test out building a waitlist. Do you guys have any idea how I can start with that?
Yeah, surely there's one idea that I have in mind. But before we actually get into this session, uh, I'd like to know from all the creators out there who've done all this, put all this work into making these web apps, what according to you is that one platform that generates the desired output with the least number of prompts that actually get you to your desired output? What do you think that would be?
Sorry, I just want to clarify this question for everyone out there that's sort of watching and trying to follow along here. Your question is, in our opinion, which platform that we tested just now? So I tested the five, which was, I don't remember the names now. VO,
Lovable.
Lovable. So which one of these, in our opinions, took the PRD and the prompt and outputted something we enjoyed the most?
Yeah.
We thought was the most.
And that generated the desired output with the least number of tries. Mhm. Now I understand the answer to this could actually vary in two ways. One is, are we talking about functionality? That could be one separate tool. If we're talking about UI and the aesthetics, that could be another separate tool. Or there probably could be another one that delivers a balanced solution. Yeah.
So just right off the bat for me, I really enjoyed the aesthetic function. Sorry, that those two don't go together. Sorry, my brain just messed up just now. Let's rewind. I enjoyed the functionality of the websites from Lovable. I didn't really quite enjoy the design or the look just yet, but I really like the fact that, again, I was excited because it gave me all three that I wanted, but I don't see actually like an actual like wait list, right? Like I see one small square at the bottom of the screen that says join the wait list, sort of to say. And then what I really enjoyed was the aesthetic look of Replit here, which had like images. I felt like there was more content on here. It was very visual. There's pricing parameters and numbers. If you can see it on the screen here, it's very visual. It's bullet point content. It's easy to consume, and yeah, it's quick and easy to contact. But there's just no like wait list or sort of thing, right? Is the only thing that's lacking on here. So there's no function for me on here.
Okay, thank you for providing that. That was really helpful. All right, so I think let's just take a moment to appreciate how well all these apps have delivered in terms of functionality and UI. Now what we're gonna do is actually take this a step further this week. We're essentially planning to make an additional feature, as you might have already seen, which is the wait list. And the example that we're gonna take is the avocado business, right? So we're gonna target B2B. And the idea is just like how we saw. So basically, we're going to have a very simple form. Any company that wants to reach out to the avocado business, they will need to know something like how to do partnerships, collaborations, maybe even want to know more about the custom pricing. So what they could do is fill out this very simple form, and then that form would be sent to the admin, who's then going to process these requests later, right? So they could see all the information provided by the individual companies that have sent in their forms, and then also just be like, okay, flag this. I've reviewed this form, so I could just click something letting me know that I've already reviewed this. Now it's time to look at the other forms. So that's what we're going to be doing, live vibe coding. And just a one-liner on what vibe coding is, it's really just using normal NLP language the same way that you would talk to any other LLM out there and just code. So what do you think, Jordan?
Well, that's a pretty nice idea. I think we should jump into coding and let's see the results.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen. You should be able to share your screen now. I love the infinite screen. It's like
Yeah,
a
Inception.
never ending
It's like a
Okay,
Inception. Go ahead.
so let's start vibe coding. And we're going to start by writing the prompt that we actually need to get started. So shall we write it together?
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to say,
you can go first.
so generate a page. You could also,
We're going to use a page with 2 tabs, one for the waitlist and one for the admin dashboard.
right. So generate an app with 2 pages, one for the admin, one for the user. Okay.
To submit their
To
information.
submit a form. So we'll say that when the user, so it's like you can just type how you're talking to someone. So when the user fills in a form that includes fields. So fields are just like those things that we can type in as input, like could be company name, it could be company email, phone number, or any other contact information. And what's actually most important here is because this is a B2B, we will also need to have a memo to type in the message, okay, like for an inquiry. And when the user clicks submit.
I have a question while you guys are prompting.
Uh,
So the way this prompting works is essentially you're just listing out all the core functions we want to see happen in this. Well, we're building a waitlist, right? So all the core functions we want
Yes,
to see. Okay. Um, and is it any different from any prompting that you would do like to ChatGPT? Like in ChatGPT, what I like to do is usually 2 things. One is either I like to talk to it, or 2 is like I like to tell the AI to step in the shoes of like a professional website designer, right? And then consider what my needs are and what you would present to me as an output. Is that something needed, or like what's the approach to someone who doesn't have experience with prompting?
So when prompting, what we need is we want to try to give ChatGPT or any LMs the most context and examples or infos as much as possible, because these things don't know what we're thinking, right? We need to provide as much context as possible. Like, for example, the way you say that you use your voice. When we are using your voice, we are speaking out of our heads. So it's work better than writing, than typing, right? And that also works too. And what is the another one?
So the other one, what I typically like to do is I like to say to the AI, is like pretend you are, well, don't pretend, but put yourself in the shoes of a software designer with 50 years of experience. Um,
I think the word for that is give it a persona.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've read articles about that, and I learned that that also works. It will give like some unlock some superpower to it, but and technically, I'm not sure what is deep down in the technical side, but I know that it will helps a lot with trying to give it a persona, like just like how what Calvin said.
Ooh, Sharon is sending over her prompt already.
As software developers or developers in general, we, do you guys run it past ChatGPT or Gemini before throwing it into Lovable usually, or are you guys comfortable with just throwing it into Lovable directly?
Um, I used to throw prompts into Lovable or V0, but I learned that we can create PRD, and then I can just start. And then I started creating PRDs before I just throwing stuff into Visual and Lovable, because credits are expensive and we have limits credits and we have to use it wisely. So probably I would use mostly ChatGPT to refine my prompt and then just throw it in the UIs AIs.
That's actually a really good tip.
That's something I like to share as well regarding the using AI to maximize your prompt. Last week, there was one of our Yaru Create. I think it's actually Jilapat, who's basically we he wanted to prompt in Thai, but I wasn't sure whether our GPT could support Thai version. So what we did was we used Gemini to translate from Thai to English and give it as much as context as possible and throw it back to the GPT. And we answered the question back and forth, and it gave us, I think, 96% before it gives us the PRD. Yeah, so I think that's one of the approach that we could do as well.
I'm curious if you can just and do the original GPT in Thai, what that would look like.
Yeah, I actually had thoughts of that because I wanted to do test runs with like people I knew who are primarily Thai speakers. Sorry, and the reason why I'm talking about Thai speakers because we're talking about Thai language is because we're based in Bangkok, and the majority of the people we know are probably gonna use Thai language as a base language. But the same concept applies to anywhere you are. If like you're in Laos or Vietnam or in Japan, it'd be interesting to see if like they could take the GPT through their local language. So where are we at right now, Sharon? Sorry, we took the show elsewhere. Could you sort of just walk us through what's going on? Yeah. What are we doing right now? Sorry, she's unmuting herself.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like Lovable has generated. So let's take a first, glance at what this has done. Okay, form submission system. Choose your access level to continue. Okay, so since this is a very simple SPA, it's just a one-page app. We'll just go to here. And okay, so the fields has worked. We can just type in any company. Let's type in ABC. Okay, just type any. Better. And yeah, this is the message. So hello. Submit. Okay, form submitted successfully. So that's a notification that tells us that it's done. And okay, what about the back page now? Back. Okay, so this is just a very small trick. I'm just gonna remove that form after the slash. So that means there's one feature that we have to tell Lovable to improve, but that's just a one handy trick. If you go here, you can literally just select and then go to dashboard as an admin. Okay, So it has retrieved that form that was submitted. So now they can go and review it. We can see all the details and the message that the B2B would be communicating with each other. The status is pending. So if I've viewed it, I'm just gonna view or reviewed and status updated successfully. Mm. Okay, another feature we would like to improve. It's still pending, so it needs to change the status. And we also have how many forms in total. Right.
Oh, that's actually impressive. Like we took like 2 minutes, actually 1 minute for prompting and like the 4 to 5 minutes for level to generate our site. But we are making it for the avocados business, right? So that's why I'll jump in and I'll like give you some simple tricks I always use when creating a front end application. Like normally these AIs will generate a static page, no animations, no parallax effects, and just some plain form, right? So what I always do is I go to Dribble or Behance to find some inspirations. I'll just find forms related to it. In your case, you can just look for a avocado website or just plant website UIs. We can just use it and try to throw it into Lovable and prompt it. And also, I will add some parallax effects and also some animations. That's what I always do to improve my UIs.
I'm actually very excited to see this right now.
I actually never thought about using references from other websites for my own website. Actually,
Yeah.
That's pretty
Well, actually, if you think about it, it's from a designer point of view. The first thing you usually want to do is like look for other what other people are doing, and they're actually, it's actually
Yeah.
working. So yeah, I think that's
This is
smart move.
actually this trick I actually got it from Joshua. The dribble tricks, like, and it's game changing. Like we have some reference we can use, and yeah, it's turned out very impressive.
Okay, you can I think you can just share your.
Thank you very much, Joshua.
Are you gonna share your screen and walk us through it? Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do to improve the UI over here? First step,
First step, we are going to go to dribble.
dribble. Okay,
So
let's go there.
Triple B.
Triple B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we are working on avocado website, we will try to find something related to like
Right.
green color, right?
Yeah,
Plants.
I'm interested.
Plants website UI.
So should we just type in plant, like plants?
Yes, let's go for it. It's just for reference.
Throw in any words, right?
Yeah,
Plants.
with UI, please.
Free. Yep. Okay. Okay. Plants with UI.
Just plants UI is enough. Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Wow, I like the green.
See,
Okay.
right? You see some inspirations like some cards we can use as reference, and these days AIs are pretty smart. It can make something like almost exact the same as our design, and we can just move on from that. But we can um, look for the landing page. And you type
Landing page. Okay.
and here we have more options, and we can just try to find the themes you want, and we will try it out on Lovable.
All right. So let's choose one. What do you think? How about this? This?
Yeah, kind of like
You
that.
could ask
This
the
one?
owner.
Yeah. What if for your avocado business? Does this look good?
Scroll through it. I promise I won't be picky.
This one looks nice.
Yeah, that looks minimal.
Yeah, I kind of like this one.
I like
Yeah.
that one. Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
oh, it's your
What
business. I'm not
next?
gonna.
Oops.
And from now you can just screenshot it.
Ah, screenshot. Okay. Let me go back.
Or maybe you can scroll down. Here you can screenshot it. Oops.
This is very cool. I actually, yeah.
I got goosebumps right now.
Well, sometimes it's gonna break, but yeah, as you said earlier, we don't give up. We will just try to make it work.
How many pages do you think we need?
I think we need only the first part here, just
Okay, yeah.
for it to like get some ideas on the themes, colors of our website.
So shall I?
But so,
Have
basically,
progress, right?
the websites are been already been made, and this is what we have. And if you put that in, so technically, it'll just adapt website, uh, this website to the design, right?
Yes, if we mentioned that we are want to change only the looks and feels and the themes, no, not the functionalities. It will just
Not the
keep
functionality.
everything. The functionality is the same. And
Okay,
if we
so
forgot, if we
I
forgot
s-
that,
Damn.
it will change your functionalities.
all
Oh
right.
wait, so we're not reprompting. We're taking our original build and then adding the image. We're just fixing it.
We just
So no
improving the
wonder
UIs.
why
Oh
you
wow.
guys.
Okay, I want to see this.
Basically, at the beginning, you're avoiding anything design, and just focus on functionality, and then design later.
Yes, that's what we did.
So the prompt.
Say. So I sent you the prompts, like some simple prompts. It's not gonna be like
Prompt.
Yeah.
Let's just also look at the prompt. What are we actually telling it to do?
well, we are telling us how to follow the best practice design patterns on how to implement these UIs. And
Okay.
let's see if it works. But if you can see, it said include hero sections, short description, email input, and CTA. But we don't want to change the functionalities, right? So we can just remove these parts, and we can just telling it just to change the style of our website.
Okay.
Change the style. Change
Use the
solely the
UI.
style. Only the style. Um, um, and keep the functionalities the same. Let's try it out. If it works, it works. If it's not, it will work anyways. Eventually.
Yeah, I think it's important to.
Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. So just to add on what Jordan said, that we need to explicitly tell AI what to keep the same and what not to keep the same, because it's not going to get that context unless we give it. So that's just one point.
Exactly, because I'm pretty sure everyone here have faced the issues where AI just change your stuff without you knowing, and then the next thing you know is it breaks your site, right? While
What
we're
do you
waiting, if do we have any questions?
What do you think about Lovable Cloud? Does it completely remove the necessity for Superbase?
Um, Actually, I'm not pretty sure how Lovable Cloud works, but it works like a database, right? And from
What?
my engineer perspective, I think Superbase is still the most one of the most reliable free alternatives for database because of the spaces and how the implementation works. We can just prompt any AIs to connect with Superbase, but not every UI to connect with Lovable Cloud, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think basically when the point of Lovable Cloud is for the user to stay in just Lovable's ecosystem. So yeah, don't think it's able to connect anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, looks like we have the finished product, and it definitely has changed color. I like that.
Can I
Avocado
have a look at the
necklace.
floating avocado? What is that?
Whoa.
This is
started.
some parallax effects, and these bugs are expected to happen. And what we're gonna do is like we're gonna try to fix this and trying to make the perfect version before we ship this application. But for now, we can see that when we prompt it to change our style, it will vastly improve the style of comparing to the first UIs, right? With our references. And also we can, if we have some images, or even if we don't have images, we can prompt it to use like some kind of free copyright placeholders images of something else, and we can add it in our website.
Okay, you can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay, wow. So I see this gradient like style. I really like that too. Okay. Mm. And just to point out one thing, that if you remember how many credits were before and how many credits are remaining, it looks like we were able to achieve almost the entire app while still having 2.2 credits remaining.
Oops.
Oh, it's trying to fix itself automatically. Let's see.
These things always happens.
Question. If we run out of credit for today, I assume that it's gonna be refreshed tomorrow, like the day after. Like, can we
Mhm.
continue where we left off? Like, can we pick up where we left off? Once we have the credit like renewed in the day, like the next day.
Yes, of course, because our application will be saved on cloud and we can just continue from there. But one AI that I have been using and I have problems where I cannot continue from where I left off is Claude. Claude free version does not allow me to continue from my chat if it's too long.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I'm not sure
Got
if
it.
there's others AIs that does this.
That's like a context. What is it? Context.
Mm.
Lexical context issue. Nice. I do like the floating avocado there, but it looks like right now it looks like you're able to swipe that avocado from left to right, and I wish you're able to do that. Imagine you press get started and that avocado gets just delivered. That'd be cool.
Mm.
I don't know if that's vibe codable.
That's a work in progress. As soon as you push an avocado and we deliver it, that sounds really cool.
Exactly. That would be very good. That would be very cool.
Marketing is gonna be fun with that.
Yeah.
I will have to say though, like this at this point right now, this is definitely something I didn't imagine when I started the week 3. So I'm going back to the last week. There was a GPT, just to refresh our memories, that walked me through the PRD, and it literally got me to like a final stage website, which was pretty cool. I think that was really a huge step. But seeing this, actually taking it back a step, and just focusing on one of the aspects, such as the wait list, and just focusing on that. Now I can reach out to these B2B sorry, not B2B, but like other businesses to generate B2B partnerships or collaborations is definitely more of a slower, realistic approach. So I think that's very safe. My only question is right now, like, is this using Lovable Cloud?
Yeah, it's using a Lovable Cloud. In the very beginning, we got this message that asked us to enable cloud, and we have no option. We have to click allowed. Yes.
You know what is funny? Because Sharon just mentioned that we have 2 credits left, and then it just pop out an errors, and then it fix the errors and just consume all the credits.
Maybe it's Lovable's way of saying you have hit the end of the road for today. To avoid frustration, sit back, enjoy what we have now, and start up again tomorrow.
Enjoy your progress for now. Yeah. Before you hit another roadblock.
Cheryl, I'm not sure if we can check on the database if the data is being pushed on the database. Do you know where the cloud is? Oh, here it is. Oh, nice. You can also export it as CSV for Excel usage.
Nice.
Wow, that's actually very useful.
Very cool.
Ooh,
Can I?
That's actually really cool.
Is it possible to see where we were before? Will your original ones
Okay.
and see what they cooked up in this one.
the first version?
When you say the one before are you talking about the one that I walked through
Exactly.
PRD with? Oh, okay. So yeah, throw my screen onto there you go. So basically that.
Yeah, massive improvement. Actually, pretty good.
Yeah. But I think Jordan, so I had a chat with Jordan while we were, while everyone else was doing a quick show and tell. Jordan was sort of walking me through that this was also not, I mean, it was made by Lovable as well. The other ones as well were actually a good progress. The only issue with this is there's a lot of complex moving pieces, right? Like you said, to function properly, like there's the B2B aspect, which is one full part of its own, uses an individual database, and there's like the B2C side, which has a different core function to what I want. And then you have the back end, which adds more complexity to that. And further, more than that is I wanted like a duolingual site, etc. Right? So there's a lot of complex movements to it.
Yeah, exactly. So if I were to start to create an application as a non-coders, no technical knowledge at all, I will start focusing on only one priority, which is B2B in your case, right? Just like Sharon mentioned earlier about MVPs, we just want something to be able to ship and we can just add some features later on. Because when we just throw everything into AIs, it is just trying to create everything up. And when there are errors, and now it's going to be a problem because we don't know which is the errors anyways, right? And it's really hard to manage and hard to find where is the source of errors. Me myself as developers, when we like scale applications, it's really hard to maintain, and that is one of the hardest thing to do when we are creating softwares. It's not about creating, it's about maintaining. And when we just create the whole application, it's hard to like trying to keep things working.
Which is one of the reasons why our first primary focus is to start small first, and to build something, despite it being small, but it's usable, and we take it step by step from there. It lowers friction, it reduces frustration, and it reduces or de-risks us from wanting to quit. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I wanted to, just give a quick shout out to everyone who's still with us. Morgan, Jerapat, Alyssa. I see you guys in the call. Do you guys have any questions or anything you guys like to point out or share any experiences you guys have as well?
That's my next step, and where I'm at basically. So I'm a little bit behind, but I was wondering, has anyone tried the new Google tool that does the same thing? Because I
Google
wonder
AI
whether that could,
Studio.
yeah. Has anyone
The
tested
Gemini
that?
3?
Mm,
Oh, well,
I
actually,
think
I'll
it's
be
like very
showing
fresh.
some stuff about it later after this, right?
Wait, sorry, you're talking about the Google
Gemini?
The AI
Gemini?
Studio,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, we have some time. Do you want to test it out right now? Run through it together.
Yeah, you want to try it out together?
Yeah. Let me quickly. I might need help here, by the way. Where am I going? Gemini. 1 second here. Okay. You can. All right, so we're gonna go through Gemini. I'd like to try to vibe code this.
Actually, you need to go to the AI studio. Is this AI studio?
No,
I don't know.
no,
No,
I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
not. Okay.
If you literally type in Google AI Studio, it should take you there. But maybe
Thank
on
you, Alyssa, for bringing this up. I think it's definitely worth trying out right now.
Here it is. Get started. Top right.
I don't want to receive emails. All right, cool.
You know what
Where am I
things I've seen? I've seen like the trailer for this Google AI Studio. Like we just put a picture of a checkerboard and it just make a checker games. You want to try tic-tac-toe games?
Okay, sure.
And you can Google some
Let's
tic-tac-toe
do a
like images.
3D tic-tac-toe game.
TikTok.
Oh,
Tic-tac-toe.
we just need some images.
Sorry, I'm using Atlas. Tic Tac.
Actually,
I'm still using. Yeah, I'm still going to TikTok.
we can just go to images and just grab.
Does this work
Yeah, that would work.
like that?
And go to and go to build. No, not this one. There is some pre-made one. We can go to build. Yeah, it's like that. And go to build again.
This one?
There's yeah. And go scroll down. There's build anything to life. Bring anything to life, sorry.
Sorry, I'm blind. Oh, got it.
With two glasses.
I got two glasses on. I still can't see. Okay, so now I can go back.
And now we can
Yeah,
just
that's what we showed. I just drag and drop it there.
you should press that little icon there. Right. Yeah, you can just
Uh-huh.
drop there. It works too.
Am I prompting it to do
No
anything?
way.
You don't need to
No
prompt
way.
anything. We can just test it out if it works. Just throw it.
I just dropped the
This
image.
is
Yeah,
this is wild.
let's see if it works. It's crazy, you know.
I have a feeling you did this already.
No, I haven't. What do you
Okay.
mean?
I don't know. It sounds like you've done this already.
No, I'm not.
Jordan, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is it gonna do from this picture? Where's it gonna take it from here?
It's gonna bring it to life as it's actually. Well, actually, I don't know what's happening in technical ways, but I saw it from a trailer and just turned checkerboards into checkers games, or just chess. I'm not sure.
Okay, I guess we just have to see and find out.
See it find out.
Sorry, the other one is still loading. So I still want to try to build the waiting list. Sorry, could you? I want to try the wait list as well while we wait. So what was the prompt again?
Okay,
So I want
to make an app.
I want to make an app. Oh wait, look, my favorite tool. Allow while visiting the set. Allow while visiting the set. Okay.
How about you copy?
Hello, 1, 2. Okay, so I want to build a app with 2 pages, one for the admin and one for the user, to submit a form. And this is for when the user fills in a form that includes fields like company name, company email, phone number, and a memo to type in the message. And when the user clicks submit, the form is submitted. After the form is submitted, a new form will be reloaded. In the admin's page, while that's happening, the admin will be able to view the submitted forms with the information entered by the user. Then after reviewing, the admin can toggle each form to be viewed and reviewed essentially. Some of the items I want on the form include name, email, avocado amount in kilograms, location of delivery, and we'll start with that. I think those are 4 main parameters, and let's add phone number as well, just so I can reach out to them. Is this working at all? Maybe it's not even working. Oh no, it's loading. All right, while that's loading, let's go back to our TikTok. So, oh, look at this. This is
Right, so
what?
this is like dictate, right? Like dictate for ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, no one.
Sorry about that. My speaker's just blasting on me. So, this is you can.
I can actually X's and O's and yes. You
You
know what? It's actually pretty impressive. Like we just throw an
Yeah.
image into it, and it just create a
Oh,
game for us.
Well,
I
you
can
can play
change
against
modes
AI
between
as well.
PvP
or
or
P
P
versus
versus
AI.
AI.
Oh,
Oh,
You guys
no.
want to see my website that Google AI Studio cooked up for me?
Yeah, sure.
sure. Bring it on.
So, quickly before we go to there, so it generated the prompt already, and then I've go ahead and push the build button, so it's gonna go ahead and build, I guess, and then maybe we can do the same approach. Like I'll start with this, and then we can go find a reference, pop it in, and see what happens with it. But that game is really cool. All right, Calvin, let's switch over to you real quick.
All right, you guys see my screen and have a look. So basically, prompted the same using same PRD, and all placeholders still. These texts are very cringe. So,
That's
but
so clean,
looks
man.
it looks very nice. But
Wait, is this on the Google AI Studio? It is.
yep,
Okay.
this is Google AI Studio. Very much. I hate code name, but let's go. Calvin. Ooh. And so join and processing. Something tells me this is not hooked up to anything.
Hey, Calvin, sorry. I don't know if anyone else is noticing this, but I'm noticing it is the color and tone has been consistent from the other
Yeah,
builders
it's
you
in my
put in.
PRD.
And your PRD has the color,
Yeah.
right? Okay, understood.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah, so these are consistent. The initializing thing was not, but yeah, it of course it adds its own taste to it from the prompt. But there we go. Check your comms, and it did not send me a notification by email. So there we go. That is Google AI Studio. And Alyssa, you're working on a Gen AI app. So actually, the Google AI Studio has a innate Gemini API. So
Yeah, this is why when I saw it, I was like, oh, this could be really good for what I'm doing because it's all in the
absolutely.
same stack. And then I also use all the like other Google Docs and forms for my intake for information and stuff like that. So it will be nice for it to all be in one place.
Hey, Morgan, you raised your hand. Did you have a question?
Yeah, it was around kind of your observation there, Will, of Calvin's consistency, and his response was, well, yeah, it's in my PID. One thing we haven't really gone through that perhaps is useful for other people as well is when things pause and break from your PRD, and then that feedback loop of updating the PRD so it's a live document always. So I imagine within Calvin's, you've actually got the like RGB, the color codes of your design theme, the CSS snippets or whatever. So you have that consistency. Perhaps this is an opportunity where we could just talk through with the developers present on the call and how you think about that process.
So developers, do you update your PRDs?
So I think a great example would be like my PRD doesn't have any color code or color direction for branding, right? And so Calvin's PRD is a little bit more thorough. It has colorway direction, like down to the code and hex code. In my case, like I don't have like the one that you just prompted, right? Is like it was blue and white. This one has the word avocado, so I guess it pulled green in there, but it's still not like a color direction that we want to do. Like, what are your thoughts? What are your approaches to that? What do you have to, say to help other people get past this essential problem right here?
When I was first developing my applications, like without AIs before, I would just go through like color hunting, meaning I would find some color palettes in like color groups, and I would just use it as my base for my website for the whole project. I would just note all the color codes, and these days with AIs, we can just use color. We can go to colorhunt.com and just look for some color palettes that match our requirements or our themes, and we can just work on there. That's my solutions and what I used to do.
So essentially, looking for references, and then you would prompt it to follow those references.
I mean, first, like for Calvin, he's making like some kind of like gym website, right? It's more of a masculinity with some dark theme. He knows what he wants, and he can just go through the colors and search for the colors that matches his themes, and with that, he can just use an exact color code from the color he likes, and we can keep it consistent from there. But if we just throw some like green colors into ChatGPT or AIs, it would just, oh yeah, we want green, but we don't know which green we want. It just randomly created for us. So we need a color code for the whole project to be consistent.
Go ahead, Morgan.
Yeah, maybe just to refine the question I was really asking. And forgive me if I'm getting too far ahead of the course. You can just tell me and I'll stop. But one of the problems I hit, and I think it's really around this stage, one of the problems I hit is when I go from like the ChatGPT developing I would call it a strategy document, like a PRD. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. It's basically the main source of truth that when things break, you go back to and just go, all right, it got really messy. I don't understand what happened, but I understand this document. This is the like core thing. And I also find that then when I'm like switching between different tools, I know I'm getting ahead of things now because I go into like Cursor. That's kind of where things go into production, right? But fundamentally, when I'm going from ChatGPT to like V0 or Lovable or all the tools we've just gone through today, then I'm like in the weeds and I'm prompting, so like we've done today, hey, here's the screenshot of the green and make the colors green, change the design. Once you start these iterations in this next tool, the new tool, what I find, and maybe this is a product opportunity for someone to figure out, is that it just starts getting messy. I know all developers feel this as well. When their code base gets too large, you can't really, it's harder to keep track of like what changes you've made, why you made those changes, etc. And so maybe we can just touch on that. And of course, that problem gets worse. And when you're moving then from like V0 Lovable, you're taking the code out of that and then into an actual IDE. That gets even wilder because then you need package managers, all that fun stuff. Real bugs happen. So maybe you could just touch on that, like how you guys think about either pause points or like maybe you have some checklists or prompts for yourself where it's like, oh, I've gone deep now. I've got to a level of complexity where I need to like almost write documentation, right? Any developer would go through that like documentation phase and then update that PRD. Have I made my question clearer or worse?
Right. Thank you. Just a clarification question to ask if I've understood correctly is what you're saying is that when you give it a color to follow for your branding, it's not consistent and it keeps changing. It adds what it thinks is the branding.
No, okay. So yeah, let me simplify as far as I can. I'm not going that granular, so it's not, I'm actually not presenting a good specific case here. What my question is much higher level. Like how do you guys just the mindset, like any triggers for yourself where you've built this PRD, you've gone through the Yaru GPT, you're then moving into a front end tool. Like let's just say it's Lovable, right? And then Lovable, you've gone through, you've spent, maybe 2 credits in Lovable, you've gone through several iterations, you've got to a front end that you kind of like. And now you need to publish that, right? You need to put it into the world. We talked earlier on the call about Lovable Cloud, or you can do that through Lovable, but you're then locked into the Lovable ecosystem. Most people, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Obviously, we'll talk about Cursor and IDs and things in the future. The core question is like, how do you think about updating that PRD? Because for me, when things break, which they always do, it's never perfect. It always comes back to that PRD, and what I find myself doing is either uploading the same PRD, the exact verbatim, the same PRD, and trying to get a different output, or just restarting my journey in like Lovable to try and get a better result. And then maybe maybe I've done that 5 times, right? And I'm getting frustrated, I'm ready to quit. Often the solve for it is going back to the PRD and really taking the lessons you've learned back into that PRD and then doing it again. So you're kind of updating the PRD to put it back into the front end Lovable tool to get the design, the thing that you want. I would just like to talk about that process, that feedback loop. And if you think about it, if you do it, if you have any advice, and if not, actually, if you don't do that, I'm also interested in why not. And if you get like one-shot prompts that are just perfect all the time.
Yeah, I totally get you what you mean, Morgan, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
I'm catching on as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just to clarify to our engineers. So the PRD document that we went through, that long one where I added, like, for example, the avocado one, I added like the 3 core businesses. Morgan's approach a few times, like sometimes when he throws that PRD back into like, Lovable or through Lovable, for example, let's just use Lovable as example. If there's like an issue where it's not really coming out as he would like based on the PRD, 2 ways, or essentially the question is like, what is your go-to approach in terms of either fixing it midway with Lovable or like going back to PRD? Like, how do you source the problem and how do you fix that on the PRD? Do you even fix it on the PRD, or where do you fix these issues? And these issues can be on a different scale. They can be different things from core function, it can be branding, it can be context, content, any on that of that nature. Like, what is your approach to it?
Okay. So honestly, I would first really like to know, but let's just be generic. But once again, it's good to know if we're talking, are we, say, do we want to improve more on the functionality side, or is it the user interface? Is it the experience? So we would think about that likewise. Maybe if you have an answer to this, that would also be great and beneficial for us. It's more of the functionalities that are not meeting the benchmark, or is it like I'm assuming it's the UI, because the functionalities, they would seem to work. But what I would say, my answer is going back to the PRD and changing it over there. Because Lovable, my answer would be to change it back in PRD. But again, depending on what's causing the frustration. And then we'll take that into consideration once again.
Let's stick with the demo. I'll try and answer that within the demo that I saw you do, Sharon. So what I saw you do when we were in Lovable the first time, and I think maybe Will was speaking whilst you were typing, is you had a very logical, analytical, I could tell you immediately you're a developer. because you went, I want a form, I want the button. When you press the button, this is the response I expect from the server. And then on the back end, I expect X, Y, and Z. And you had a very clear like input output type of communication with the AI that gave you exactly what you needed. Now myself, and I'm sure many people on the call and who are listening, my brain's more creative than that. Like I don't think that the same like logical input output way. So I'd just be like, there's a form, I want it to ask the user something, and then I want it I wouldn't even think that far ahead. I wouldn't even necessarily say like when I click the button, X, Y happens, right? But that flow wasn't in the PRD. Like that actually wasn't in what we were going through from my memory. So like that was a very logical, like tactical way of prompting, versus the PRD is way more like high level. So the PRD might say, I'm trying to get us to a really like specific, so apologies if I'm rambling a little bit, but the PRD generally would just say you need a user form on the front end and then like a CRM on the back end that has that data, right? So it's much higher level. Now, from my experience, and I assume most people's experience, when you have that prompting document that's that vague, it just has too many things. I guess I'm trying to formulate this question better so I can help us have this conversation. I guess the real thing I'm asking is like, when you hit a frustration or a point of like breakage, it could be, yeah, let's stick to like front end stuff. It could be just UI, right? Maybe if I share my screen, I can.
Yes, Morgan, thank you so much for really elaborating. I'm sorry it took a few tries for me to get to understand, but I understand what you're saying. So basically, I kind of did the same thing. So here's what I did. I went to Gemini, the new version, and I tried to also get some prompt from there. Now I noticed that the prompt that they wanted me to put in Lovable was much different than the PRD itself. Like they separated it for me. So like section 2 to 6 was the PRD, but they told me to use section 7 for Lovable. And I was wondering why. So I asked it like, should I not put the PRD in? And they said no. So that's one new thing that I had also learned. It was just very recent. So yes, when we are creating an app, we actually need it to be a high level overview is not enough. It would have to be the kind of way that I had written it in the demo earlier. So if you have a good understanding of what you want, how you want it to look like, then you can easily just type in plain simple English very clearly. If you have a good idea of what your product is going to look like, the flow, like sort of in your map, you can envision it, versus the high level PRD. So I think, in my opinion, if you want it to be clear and functional, then it would have to be a separate prompt going right into Lovable. Or maybe we could just improve that PRD generator for us, very technical and logical. That would be one thing that we could do. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I hope this answers your question.
Well, I also have something to share. Like from my personal experience, when I prompt something onto Lovable or Visuals or any AIs, and there are some problems happening, I would just ask the AIs why it's not happening. Like for example, when I click this button, it should show something. Like it's not logical thinking, but I know that when I click this button, it should show some images, right? And I would just ask the AIs why this is not happening, and they would just go look for the issues that is happening. I never rewrite my PRD. I just want to fix my issues, and sometimes I spend like days to fix my problems. Like recently, I just created videos on how to use AI to build an application and communicate with blockchains, and I have several bugs happening, and I spend like hours and hours trying to fix it. And I want to let you know that these things always happens, and it happens all the time to me, and I cannot escape it after all because it's what I do every day. And what I do is like I just try to fix the issues, try to point that to AI that I want this to happen. Why it's not happening? That's what I frame it for the AIs.
Yeah. I'm not a developer, but I totally empathize with you, Morgan. I have like a Notion page of like of PRD V10, PRD V15, and just it goes on and on because it's you find a flaw from the original PRD, and you have to change it and start a new project. So totally get it.
I think that's actually why it's a hard question to ask, because it's like it's so subjective as well. Like without a real use case, it's hard to answer. So I think
Yeah.
forgive me for asking such an awkward question, but it's like that. It's that feedback loop that's so interesting to me, because it's just like I think it's also a sign of the stage of the technology where like we do find ourselves just going back to the foundation, just to start from scratch is the only way to actually progress, and you just hope that you blow past that point where it got stuck beforehand. And so you're almost like, it's so fast to develop these things that you're almost like just progressing that needle further and further to the breaking point, and then finally you get something that works.
Have you ever altered a PRD and then you realize the previous one is better, and then you went back to the other one?
Yeah. Yep. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Something I'd like to add on to this is a CTA, like call to action. So basically, AI kind of understand. We wanted the PRD to be less wordy, to be honest, less verbose. It should be more of a simple things mapping out to each other. So it should be very actionable. That's the word I would probably use, and removing all the unnecessary clutter in the PRD itself. So that's another thing I want to add.
Speaking of frustrations, while we were waiting for my Google to generate or Gemini AI Studio to finish. Oh. So what I was doing while you guys were discussing, I was trying to show Alyssa what Gemini 3 was able to do. I took the prompt, and then I took the prompt. Well, I'll let you know. I took the prompt to generate the waitlist, and then I went to ChatGPT actually, and I generated a image of a landing page as a reference, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then secondary to that response, basically finished the prompt with the waitlist, and then I added the image to say, can you apply this theme, keeping the core functionalities, basically going through the same process. And lo and behold, this is what happened. My the tab got closed and it's gone.
Sad.
And
That's
Jordan,
outrageous.
you're pointing something out that I should have done in the beginning. Maybe let's take this time to point this out to everyone before we have everyone else go through this frustration. I'm sad right now.
Okay, so sorry for I didn't mention that before, but I faced it earlier today. And what I fix it, I go to your apps and connect to my Google Drive, and it will start saving your apps there. That's what I did, and I just learned that like a couple hours ago.
All right. So don't forget to connect to your Google Drive so that it actually saves what you were working on. Otherwise, if you just go in and start building, it won't save. So that's a very important tip. If anything to take home tonight is connect Google Drive to Gemini or AI Studio 3 when you build.
Imagine you finish your
also,
apps and you just refresh it.
it's a little bit more technical, but you can also save to GitHub on pretty much all of them offer that service. So you're not like locked in to any one service.
That's actually another valuable take for me as well. Yeah.
You know what is good with GitHub? This is what tricks. It is a trick I always use when I connect my repository to a GitHub. I tend to use that GitHub repo and connect with other UIs, AIs to just fix my applications. That's what I do mostly. And sometimes I also download it to my local machine and just straight up from the errors with ChatGPT on my local machines. And when I fix all the errors, I just push back and it will be updated. That's what I did.
So instead, what I'll show you is I took the same image that I prompted, and I also put it into the tic-tac-toe game that we just made, and I made a new game called Avocado and Toast. And so it became like an avocado and toast themed game instead. This saved, but the other one didn't. The important one didn't. Anyways, I think what happened was there's a lot of good learnings from this at the end. It goes to show that there will be frustrations. For me, as soon as I found out that I lost that whole prompt, I really did not feel like reprompting. But our core message today is don't do what I just did, is quit. Reset, take a deep breath, and try again, because there's going to be a lot of issues. The prompting thing was actually small compared to like the issue that Morgan was bringing up just now, like the, having, how many versions of PRDs you had, Calvin? Like 20, 100, something like that?
Yeah, no, it's 15, but that's
Yeah.
separate after.
But it goes to show that it's not going to work out the first time, like I'm showing these examples on the stream. Just be aware that before I actually brought these pieces to show on the stream, it actually took me a while to actually go through the PRD and be happy with what I wanted to present. And not just choosing the first PRD version essentially and presenting that, right? Going back and refining it and making sure that I'm actually presenting ideas that I've thought through. Is it really reflecting my initial prompts, the initial idea, the initial validation? So I'm literally combining everything from the start up until this point and just making sure that we're going through the process in depth as much as possible, right? And so I just quickly wanted to share with everyone that you know it's fair to say that your builds are going to break. You may feel behind sometimes. Someone else's build might work and you're right next to them like, oh, my build's not working. Why? But you know it seems like everyone else has a secret, right? Morgan was asking you guys for some secrets. Calvin, do you have some secrets? The answer is going to be no. There's no hidden secret. Calvin had to go through 50 different versions to figure out what he wanted. You guys have to prompt different times to figure out what you wanted. I had to figure out that I need to either connect to GitHub or Google Drive to get what I wanted. And so, the only real superpower that you do have is to keep on building. And like Jordan said to me, so I was actually going through the different build and the different PRDs, and Jordan walked in and he's like, this is actually, and this happened off stream, by the way. He actually walked up to me and he was like, this is a really interesting site that you're building, but the reality of it is like it's very complex. It's really large for me just to vibe code this out in like 1 hour. It's not gonna happen. And so that's when he suggested, start small. Which is the focus on just one of the core aspects, the B2B, keeping a simple version that I can actually potentially bring to deploy at one point, which is the wait list, which is a simple form, start small and take baby steps every step of the way, right? And so with that, essentially, what we want to do is we want to encourage everyone that's in this call and also a part of the live stream to actually go ahead and start making your wait list. It can be with whatever tool you are using. And we'd love to see the wait list you guys come up with and create next week in week 5. We want to do more just a show and tell from me, from Calvin from Git, like if everyone else creates a wait list and then we'll present those next week, we can go through them, share them in Discord. There can definitely be room for show and tell, room for feedback from the engineers if there's any more issues that you're stuck on. And then also, if you have any like if a project you're holding for Yaru Create doesn't need a wait list, just let us know that your project doesn't need a wait list, but what does it need, and build that out and show us so that we can go through it. You can get some peer feedback, and actually truly be here for you guys and support you guys, because this like I said at the beginning, this is the stage where it's either going to make or break people. It's going to be frustrating, it's going to be challenging, and so this support system is going to be very important. Sharing it to the Discord, communicating with each other, getting feedback, getting thoughts, getting ideas is always going to be helpful. So without further ado, if there's no other questions that we have for tonight, I want to thank you all for joining us. Really enjoyed the time that we had here. Today was actually a really in-depth session. I enjoyed every step of the way that we went today. So we look forward to seeing you next week in week 5 for Vibe Marketing. Look forward to launching that and then seeing what we get from there. So don't forget, create your wait lists, share those into the Discord chat, and yeah, we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you guys for joining. Shout out to Morgan, Jerovat, and Alyssa. Thank you guys for being a part of the show.